I have debated making this video over and over again, and I have decided that maybe somebody out there, one, either I've experienced this before, two, is experiencing this right now, or three, might experience this in the future, but seeing this will help them know how to breathe and grow and learn through it.
I don't mean to be so uptight, but my heart's been hurt a couple times.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Olawuyi. I know usually you see me in my studio room, but I already made my video for this week before what happened last week happened, and just I'm not gonna dwell on it. Just a quick recap what happened. But definitely focus. The reason why I'm saying this little clip right here is to say two things. One, please watch the entire video, and two, this video, there's more passion in my voice than my first two videos, and I just want everyone to know that the video was already made. I already made the video before somebody came at me and took my videos down. So don't think that I'm responding to hate or I'm responding to negativity. No. But I do feel passionately about social justice and helping our children and our world be a better place. So you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the video, watch the entire video, and leave a comment, questions, subscribe, share, comment, like, because it will really help me. Thank you. So today's video is going to be a little different. I have to go a totally different route, so that's why I'm not sitting down today, because I feel I legit do not think that I can at least sit down and bring another article and be like, let's look over this, because I started thinking that there is a lot more to these two things that a lot of people don't know. We think we do, but really, what do we know? What two things? Good question. Race and racism. Now, let's have a conversation. Let's just I want to invite you into my mind, into my thoughts, because after all, we're all spirits. We have souls. We live in a body, and we need to process what we are doing. So I want to invite you to process this with me. Now, let's be honest with each other. One, I don't have all the truths, but it just so happened that I'm actually pretty wise. Be honest with me and with yourself and with the world that you live in. Which one of this is true of you? You ready? All right. I'm just going to say it randomly. Just don't think of it as me. Think of it as yourself and the world that you live in. All right. Blacks are the most oppressed race in the world. Whites cannot be oppressed because they are the dominant race. Actually, whites can be oppressed because sometimes they are not the one in power. I'm black. I grew up in America. I've been in America my entire life, and I've never experienced racism. So I think people like, Black Lives Matter are blowing things way out of proportion. Actually, the reason why you don't see it is because you're in denial and not aware that trauma affects the whole community. I think that as an African who grew up in a different country and came here, it's not really my problem. I don't really have to deal with this. I may be African, but I experience the same racism that blacks experience. I don't think blacks can be racist, because after all, to be racist means you have a power that you can wield over people using your race as the power. Actually, since black people can have racist ideas, yep, they can be racist too. I'm Asian. I have friends in other races. I have lots of black friends, so I actually understand what they're going through. People think because we're Hispanic, we don't experience racism, but we do too. I knew it. I knew she was gonna forget us. People always forget us. We are the other race, the mixed race, the other race. Nobody remembers us. Why don't people notice that blacks in the LGBTQ community experience double the oppression that straight blacks do. You know, I don't think we're talking about other forms of oppression: sexism, ageism, ableism. I'm white, but I grew up extremely poor. So don't tell me that I don't understand what it means to be underprivileged. Actually, just because you don't realize you have a privilege as a white person does not mean you don't have it. Even if you grew up poor, you still have more privilege than those who are not white. I love my beautiful dark skin, but I wish people who are light skinned would notice that they have an advantage that I don't have and sit down and shush when I'm trying to explain my experiences and how it's different from theirs. Now I know that somebody out there is gonna be like, oh, she did not talk about how I feel about this whole situation. Well, here's the thing. Can I tell you the truth? Y'all put your hand out. Everybody put your hand out. All of us, we're missing the point. We're missing the point. What point? Good question. I'll tell you. From when we were little kids, we learned about colors. And at the same time we learned about colors, we also learned something. We learned that race is real, but race doesn't matter. It's a lie. Race is not real, but race does matter. Listen again. Race is not real, but race does matter. What do I mean? There is nothing wrong or right with the abundance, the absence, or the presence of melanin, because there is no connection between race and culture. In other words, ability, strength, weaknesses, intelligence has no connection to race. What am I talking about? Just because you're black does not mean you will need extra help in school. Just because you're white does not mean that you just want to rule everybody and you don't care about people's feeling. Just because you're Hispanic does not mean that you're going to have a desire for drugs. Just because you're native does not mean that you are going to have trouble with money. Just because you are mixed race does not mean all you care about your hair and the way you look and you think you look better than everybody else. Just because you're Asian does not mean all you be good for is technology and music. Do you understand? Do you see it? There is no connection between race and culture. No intelligence, no value, no strength, no weakness, no creativity. What then is the problem? I will tell you, we have, as a culture, create system that supports and elevates racism. But the only way this could work is if we made race real. In other words, racism gave birth to race. In other words, we had to create race to wield the weapon of racism. That is a problem we have as humanity. That is where everything started. That is why we need to tackle the problem of racism. What do? What is the solution? I'll tell you. Are you ready? We have to unlearn racism. Race already is real for us. We already created it. We're not going to deny it. We're not going to say it's not real. Not talking about it is not going to heal anything. It's not going to end anything. We have to be aware that one, racism is a weapon. And race only became real when we wanted to wield that weapon of racism. And we've created systems that we've taught our kids, that we have learned and indoctrinated and ingested to the point that we don't even realize race is not real. So what do? We have to unlearn racism. We have to unlearn racism. If we unlearn racism, you know all those categories are listed? Guess what? Everything will start to fall away. So how do we unlearn racism? Well, there is so much to that. And that, I'm afraid, is a totally different video. So next week, come back and let's talk about this. Let's learn together how to unlearn racism. Love y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you next Friday.